Alright, hello everybody. So today I'm going to show you guys how to format your paper in APA style. And this is important for our Amgen Lab Report. The first thing you're going to need is a cover page. On your cover page, you're going to label at the top left-hand corner, running head. Notice here the format. What's really important to the format is the lowercase and capitalized letters. So we have here running head, okay? The capital R for running and lowercase h for head, separated by a colon, and then your title, which is in all caps. If you have a long title, go ahead and put the first 3 to 4 words of your title here. If it's too long, we don't have to put the entire title. Notice here at the top right hand corner, you do have your page number. Okay, it's really important that when you put a page number, you insert the page number. You don't simply type it, or else all of your following pages will include the same number. So it's really important that you insert your page number, and you can do that here at the top of your bar. Okay, go to insert, and there should be a page number available. So you're going to see here the different colors. Black will represent what it is you need to include, and then the red text will include how to do that. So in black here on the cover page again, you're going to include your title, okay, your first and last name, and if you have a partner, you're going to include both of your names, the class, biology B, and then the institution or school, in your case options for the charter school, as the last piece there. Okay. Notice here the space between the running head and your title should be about 4 spaces. You want to make sure that your title, first name, last name, class, and school are centered at the page. Okay. In red here, you'll see that the format includes 12 font, Times New Roman, double space, okay, and only, this is important, only the cover page has the term running head on it. And then again, make sure you insert your page number so that all the successive pages after will be in order. So if I scroll down here to the second page, notice there's page 2. Okay. Also notice at the top of your header, okay, we do not have running head. Again, the only time you will include running head is on the first page or your cover page. After that, okay, you only have the title, again in all caps, at the top left-hand corner. Your second page is also going to be by itself, so you're going to have the abstract. Okay, so first page is cover page, okay, separated, okay, to the second page, which is your abstract. So what is an abstract? Okay, so you're going to give me a summary of your paper, anywhere from 150 to 200 words, which is approximately about half a page. Okay, basically tell me what is your paper about. The abstract is meant to give the reader some insight into your overall idea or concept that you're going to talk about without reading the entire paper. And it's important, especially when you're doing large searches online and you just kind of want to know, well, what are the main points of the article or the paper? Do I really want to invest my time in reading the entire paper? And so that's what you're doing here with the abstract. Notice in your abstract you do not indent, okay, for the first line. Okay, again, you do not indent, and it's here written in red for you. So make sure you can just start typing that abstract. Followed by the abstract are your keywords here. Now, for keywords, you will indent. So notice I put indent. Okay, your keywords, I wouldn't take super seriously, but you should include at least 5 to 8 keywords, maybe that you continually use in your paper, and they should be key academic words. Okay. So maybe restriction enzyme or ligase, okay, those are just some of them. So keywords that you are going to use, key academic words that are really important in understanding your paper. And you're going to list those, separate them by commas, okay, and don't forget to include the colon here. Okay. Again, in red, this is telling you how to do that, right? So again, format 12 font, Times New Roman, double space, no indent at the beginning, 150 to 200 words long on its own page. Keyword should be indented and contain a colon. Every word is separated by a comma. Your keyword should be words you will use most often and that are important for understanding your paper. Okay? So in red here, we list the how. Okay? And remember, the abstract has its own page. So once you're done, even if you don't fill out an entire page, you're going to skip on to the next page. Okay? So this should be your third page. Again, notice only the title, okay, and the page number is 3. So this is the body of your paper, and you're going to separate it into sections. So you're going to have Lab 2, restriction enzymes. Okay? Here you're going to include a summary of the lab, your results, both quantitative and qualitative, the analysis, which includes mistakes maybe that you've discovered that you made, conclusions, and possibilities for further study. Okay, again in red, this is how you do it. 12 font, Times New Roman, double space, include a header for each section, insert tables, graphs, and pictures as needed. Not every section will need that, But if we've done tests or we've collected data, you may need to include that. So you might want to create a table or a graph, okay? And it's a minimum of 1 page. That means at minimum, you should at least have 1 page for this section. And you're going to label this section Lab 2 Restriction Enzymes. Notice every section has its own titles. It's centered and bold, okay? So Lab 3 DNA ligase and so forth. So every section is going to have the following criteria. You're going to include a summary, you're going to include your results, and you're going to include or insert any graphs or tables or data that you found during that lab. My suggestion to you is after you complete each lab, go in, okay, into your Google Docs and complete a page for that lab. That way, by the end of all of our labs, you have every page for each lab completed and pretty much your entire paper. Okay, so be patient with this. Make sure you're staying organized and you're prioritizing your time. Again, each section should be about 1 page. Okay, so you have Lab 2 restriction enzymes, and then you're going to talk about a page of Lab 3, the DNA ligase, Lab 4, verification, and then Lab 5, bacterial transformation. So in the body alone, you should have at minimum 5 pages. Okay, actually, I'm sorry, 4 pages. If you are doing a page per section. Notice that we did not include Lab 1, that's just practice with the tools. So that's not going to be really important in relaying your concepts here. So all I need you to do, okay, is to summarize and give your results for Labs 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, each being a minimum of a page. Continuing on down here, okay, and each section does not need its own page. So this can be continuous, okay? The only ones that really need their own page are the cover page, the reference page, and your references page, which we'll talk about in a minute. But again, your body can run through. So Lab 2 can overlap to Lab 3 and then to Lab 4. You're separating again by your headers here in bold. Okay? Moving down, we have our conclusion to the paper, or the bigger picture. So how do all of the labs connect? Explain the importance of these lab processes in the real world. This is where additional research may come in. You want to make sure to reference or cite your sources. So we've talked about relevance to these labs in terms of diabetes and making protein insulin for those with diabetes. So that's an important idea that coincides with our labs. Think about and research other forms of importance, right? Why are these labs so crucial to a scientist or to someone that's trying to make certain proteins that we need? So again, your format again is listed, 12 font, Times New Roman, double space. You're going to insert tables, graphs as needed, and this is going to be a minimum of 1 page. Okay. So because you're doing your independent research, or you're including information from other sources here in the conclusion, you will have to cite your references. So how do I reference within my paper? So I gave you an example. Let's look here. According to Maxwell, and then the year of the resource or reference, 2007. And if you're using exact quotes, that's what the quotations mean here, word for word, you're going to include the page number, okay, or the paragraph number if there are no page numbers available, listed after in parentheses. Okay, again, this is if this is exact word for word quote that you're taking from a resource. You can also phrase it this way. Okay, you can include the word for word quote first and then put them all together, the last name of the author, comma, year, comma, page number, or paragraph number in parentheses. Okay, again, these are both for exact word for word pulling out of the resource. Okay, let's say you wanted to summarize it so it's not word for word. Notice I don't have the quotations here, so it's not word for word. All you would need is the author's last name, comma, the year of the resource in parentheses. Okay, and for any paraphrase means in your own words the same idea, right? But you're putting in your own words. Technically, you still have to cite because it's not your own idea. So not word for word, you're going to use this format here. Scrolling down here, and again, it's the same format as the rest of the paper. Now, if you want to include a table, this is how you're going to do it. This is an example. So how should I include tables, graphs, and or pictures? You want to make sure that you're doing them on computer. This is just an example. Ignore the X's here. You're going to fill them out with your own data, right? So you might want to list, for example, the plates here, okay, and what your conclusions are. Really, it's up to you what you want to or how you want to express your table. Remember that the table should express really important information and should help the reader understand your results. Notice that I have something called Figure 1, and then you're going to write a brief description of the table or graph or picture you have inserted, and that should be no longer than 1 to 2 sentences. This goes for any graphs or any pictures or any illustrations. Anything you're putting, you want to label, okay, what figure number it is, and then include a brief summary of 1 to 2 sentences. Okay. Scrolling down here, now going back, sorry, any table that you create or graph that you create should be in its appropriate section in the body. right? So if you need a table for lab 2 or lab 3, you input it in that section, okay? The last piece are your references. So your references should have its own page, okay? Again, it should be by itself, so you don't want this to overlap with any of the content that you're going to include. You want to make sure it has its own page. I know that I had it overlapping here, but again, references should have its own page. References is not going to be bold, it will be centered, okay? And I provided an example of how you need to format your resources, okay? You should have a hanging indent, okay, with the last name of the author. And notice all of your authors are in alphabetical order by last name. If there's no last name available, you can list the organization, right, or the title of the article, and that will suffice. That will substitute for the author's last name. I also provided a website so that you guys can look on how to format your references at the very end of your report, again at its own page. Okay. And then the last thing, overall, in summary, what is your report in your entire report as a whole? It should be about 5 to 7 pages of content, a total of 9 to 10, including your cover and your references. Remember, you guys are doing this in groups, so it's important that you guys break up the roles or the duties for this major assignment. This is what you were turning in for Unit 6 by itself. You should have a minimum of at least 2 illustrations. That means graphs, tables, and/or pictures. Do not ignore this. You at least need 2 of them. Okay, and your cover page and reference page are required. Okay, I shouldn't see any reports without a cover page or any reports without a reference page. These are crucial to the report. Okay, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask me. But you guys will have this video along with the template for the report. Okay, I hope this helps.